everybody. It's your girl, Miss Cat. I am the founder of the Woke Money Movement. This is our podcast, the Woke in Business podcast. And as per usual, every Monday night at 8:30 p.m., I'm going live. I'm talking to somebody who is phenomenal, who is doing a thing, right?
Yeah.
In this city, right? So, welcome in. I just want to say before we get started, we are 18 days until the Woke Money Conference, guys. We've been talking about this week after week after week. If you don't get it now, I don't know if you ever will. But if you've been waiting to the last minute to get your tickets to the conference, you can do so today. Go to wokemoney.org, get your ticket because we are 18 days from the Woke Money Conference. It's time, okay? Now, let's get this thing kicked off. So, traditionally, y'all know our tradition. Traditionally, we pour up a glass of the Woke Money wine. But today, our guest is like, no, I don't want any wine. We good. So, no wine today, but shout out to Signature Sips. Shout out to the Woke Money wine. Y'all know how we do this thing every single Monday. So, since we have no wine to pour up, I'm just gonna dive right in.
And you could take two for us.
Look, no, I'm on my water. Everybody knows I'm trying to unbig this back a little bit, just a little bit. So I could look just a tad bit cute at the Woke Money Conference, right? So it's water for me, right? So no wine tonight, but nonetheless, let's kick it off. Why don't you tell us who you are and what it is that you do?
Yes. Thanks, Ms. Cat, for having me on. I am Chastity Grady. I am the owner of Grady Tax Plus, and that's where I serve primarily business owners such as therapists, counselors, coaches in their business in regards to their taxes, managing their business finances, and getting their businesses set up and running.
Ooh, so taxes. Okay. So you may or may not know this, but I too have a tax firm. But I don't do business taxes. So I just do basic tax prep. And actually, don't tell nobody this. This is between me and you. Like, y'all, look, this is between me and her. This was my last year doing tax prep. So I am stepping away. But for some of you guys that love it, like, let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing that I want to kind of ask you is what made you decide, because everybody's story is different.
Yeah.
Like, what made you decide that you wanted to get into tax prep?
Right. And so I'll try to keep the story short because everybody have their long
It's okay.
story.
We got a little time. Come on.
But I'll say, so initially, whenever I was in high school, I loved math. Everything about math, I loved it. I had some issues in my life where I became homeless when I was in high school. In my junior year, I became homeless, fell by the wayside, almost dropped out of high school, was involved in domestic violence, a whole bunch of other stuff.
Wow.
And so my high school counselor, she ended up rescuing me. I like to say she rescued me and started introducing me to college because I wasn't even thinking about college or anything.
Wow.
And so when she brought me to the other side into a different world where I didn't know like all these different colleges existed, the one college that stuck out was the University of Texas at Austin. And so when I went to visit that school, I was like, I have to come here to major in business. I did get accepted to the school. I did not get accepted to the major. So I had the major I got accepted in was social work. And I knew I wanted to go to that school. I needed to be in that city. I feel like that's where God called me to be. And so since I had went through what I went through, social work stuck out to me. So I went ahead and had my career in social work. Fast forward, God reminded me of the vision that he had for me for accounting. And I started my tax business, and that's why I serve therapists and counselors, because that is my background. In school, they go to school to learn how to be a business owner, really, because when you be a therapist, a lot of them have their own practices, but they don't tell us nothing about running the business, taxes. So that's where Chastity Grady with Grady Tax Plus step in.
For sure. Okay, well, it's just ironic, that a lot of us, because that's kind of, I won't say your story is your story, but what I'm saying is, when I got into the tax space, like I was like living from pillar to post, like I was in a survival mode type, situation. Is it fair to say that, getting into the industry kind of saved your life?
I would definitely say getting into a social work. Definitely.
Okay.
And then since I had already established that career 10 years ago, it just kind of flowed.
Gotcha.
So I am in a state where I'm not in that situation, anything like that when I was a teenager. So it just kind of just fits right into my life right now.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy to hear that you escaped, from the circumstances. So now you're dealing with business owners and you're dealing with, the complexities that come with that. So can you tell us what, since you deal with a lot of, people that maybe started from scratch or whatever the case may be, can you give us some tools or just some information of if I'm starting from scratch, where do I begin?
Right, that's a good question. I would say I have two components to that. Because
Okay.
I have people who start from scratch who still work a job. And then people who start from scratch, they're like, forget their job. I'm, stepping out on faith.
Okay.
So for the people who are still in their job, they're just starting your business. One of the important things that I recommend is that you make sure that you know what your situation is as far as your personal finances. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people fail to realize that your personal budget, that's the one thing that can bankrupt your business once you're in business and impact your income that you're going to make.
Did y'all hear her? Y'all better be taking notes. Okay. And so definitely having your personal stuff it together before you even consider.
Right.
Okay.
Knowing what you need personally. So this is what I when I go live on Facebook and do my live, this is what I tell people. If you know, this is an example, if you know that it costs you $5,000 to live personally, that means you can't just make $5,000 in your business. So if you're just making $5,000 in your business, can you really quit that job right now?
No.
So that's what people don't look at.
Got you. So basically you help them to create a plan.
Right.
Because because the thing is that, some people use their 9-to-5 to stair step them into entrepreneurship, which is nothing wrong with that. But you have to, like you said, you got to know your personal, you got to know the particulars. So I get what you're saying. Okay. And so what other tools?
Yeah. And so if you're, I'll go on the other side. So if you're someone you like, that's good.
Forget this job. Look, forget this job.
I'm ready to go. Then making sure your business structure is set up right. Because what I find is that everybody say, oh, you don't need an LLC to start. Yeah, that's good and all. But if you are someone, especially a therapist, I really dislike that advice. The only reason why is because they have to get on insurance panels if they're going to take insurance. And if they get all of that stuff in their personal name, and then they want to be like, oh, let me go back and get that, LLC or whatever, then guess what? You got to backpedal and go back and try to change all of that stuff you did with those insurance panels. And that's difficult.
Got you. So basically, if I'm hearing you correctly, go ahead and get that LLC. Just go ahead and if you're going to start a business and jump out and do a business, then the best thing to do is just to structure it correctly up front.
Right. Especially for a type of business that you can get sued. As a therapist, you can get sued. As a tax professional,
baby.
A lot of professionals, they don't think about the part about getting sued and protecting your assets and such. So definitely for therapists, they have to get PLLCs in Texas. But in general, if you are serious about starting your business, you don't want to have to try to backpedal. Save yourself on the front end and just do it from the beginning. Gotcha.
So let me ask you this. You said business structures, and a lot of people think that the LLC is just the do all be all, right? I got an LLC. I'm so cool. Okay. But we know that there's other structures. Right. But I guess my question to you is, how do I know if I'm ready for an S Corp or a C Corp?
That's a good question. And a lot of people don't even consider the C Corp as an option because they hear things about double tax, but you don't really understand what the real double tax is. But I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. But in regards to the S Corp, for one, like I said, if you don't have the legal entity first, then you don't even qualify because you need to get the legal entity. And then for me, a lot of people have their own opinions. Some people say, oh, when you hit the 40K net profit, or that's when you want to go. But you have to look at the reasonable compensation is what they call it. So what you're going to pay yourself as a salary. So I'm just going to use therapists as an example. If your net profit is $40,000, what reasonable compensation or reasonable salary can you pay yourself out of that? Would you apply for a job making $30,000 full time?
No.
So is it wise that you pay, apply for your job and pay yourself $30,000? There are other tax strategies S Corp is just one tax strategy. Let me say that people don't realize that S Corp is just a tax strategy. There are other tax strategies out there that can help you without going to an S Corp, but people, if you're a real tax planner, then you know that.
Gotcha.
But a lot of people who the outside looking in, they're just like, oh, I got to be S Corp and that's the way to go. But we have to look at what are the other things, because you lose some things when you become an S Corp that people don't realize. So definitely looking at what the reasonable compensation, and also what other tax strategies are you willing to lose if you become an S Corp.
Gotcha. And so with C Corp, sometimes I just be feeling like with a C Corp, you just got to be king, king. You got to be really got it going on. Is that like really true or
no?
Just...
No, it's not true. I actually love a C Corp. So with the C Corp, you pay that one flat tax. And so when people say, oh, you get double tax, but you only get double tax if you take out the money. So if you're paying yourself a good salary, let's say you're paying yourself $70,000, you don't have to take anything else out of the company, which they call it dividends. You don't have to take it out. So you're not going to get a tax. That's where the double tax will come in.
Gotcha.
So if you're not taking anything out, you don't get
tax. Got you. So guys, I just wanted, and of course, being in the tax space, I know some of this. So I'm just kind of bringing this out for the people that are listening. The reason why, I want you guys to understand that is because, like she said, there's different strategies. You could be an LLC and that may work for you, because if you're not grossing enough, not grossing, but really netting enough to pay yourself to scale up to a S Corp, then it's not even worth it. So, definitely got to get with someone that does the tax planning and structure yourself that's conducive for you. Just because everybody's out there telling you to go get an LLC, that doesn't mean that the LLC is good for you, right? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. Now let's talk about I don't know, like, why do you think it is that a lot of businesses are scared of taxes? Like, why do you think that's such a big fear with business?
That's a good question, because I have clients that come to me who have not filed their taxes in years because they were like, life got in the way. People have circumstances.
Yeah.
But once they become compliant and they realize, oh, that's all I have to do.
But I'm just like, in your experience, because I'm sure we're probably talking to somebody out there that maybe haven't done their taxes or, whatever. So I'm just like, in your experience, like, what is it that stops people from doing their like, especially on the entrepreneurship side? Like, what are the common reasons why people just don't do their taxes?
Some people think that if they don't get a refund, that they shouldn't do it. Like, well, I'm just going to owe anyway, so I'll just wait. But you waiting is putting yourself at more risk because you have penalties and all of that when you could have just filed. Well, a lot of it has to do with people trying to do it themselves too. And they realize, oh, I can't really do it myself.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. I don't want to hire nobody. I'll just worry about it next year.
And then next year. And then next year. Got you. So what are some of the ramifications? What are for those that like, hey, I ain't gonna do my taxes. What are some of the ramifications of people that decide that they don't want to do their taxes, especially as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I would say one of the things that come to mind is that you won't be able to reach some of your goals. So one of the things that people fail to realize is that if you want to buy a home, you need to have your taxes compliant. You need to have them filed. And not only that, you need to make sure your business is on there.
Exactly.
For at least 2 years. So if you're behind 2 years, then you can't get a house. So you have to wait to try to get one.
That's very true. And then on top of that, you know, a lot of times, in my opinion, businesses don't file because, like you said, I'm like, oh, what's the whole point? But you're not legit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter like that you make money or whatever the case may be. You're not legit in the IRS's standpoint if you're not filing a tax return. I mean, is that fair to say? Or
yeah, one thing I just thought about when she said that was that, or they don't have their business finances organized. So either they don't know what they make, they don't know what the expenses. They talk about, well, I got all these receipts, and it gets really overwhelming. So that's another thing. If their business finances aren't organized and put together, then that's also something that makes them not want to file.
So guys, listen. Okay, this is what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to get with Chastity. She's gonna help y'all out because you do the accounting, right?
Yeah, I do provide bookkeeping services.
See, she does the bookkeeping. And on top of that, we need to get you compliant. Because at the end of the day, you need to be compliant so you can have your paperwork in order, so you can be able to reach your goals. Like she said, you want to get a house, you want to do some things, you're going to have your tax returns. You can't like escape this from life. There's nothing that is guaranteed in life but death and taxes, right? So it's like, come on, let's get it in order. So tell us about, I kind of just made that up. I just threw her under the bus, y'all. I just assumed, you know, because she had herself together, that she does certain things. But tell them, for those that are watching and listening, like, tell them about the services that you provide and how you can help them to become compliant.
Yeah. Before I do, let me say this. I've come in contact with several business owners who want to really go all out in their business, show up as their authentic self, and really just be who they can be in their business. But the one thing that's preventing them is the back end. They don't have that back end together. And so that shame and that fear and doubt creeps into the work, and it creeps into your client work or whatever you do in your business. That stuff creeps in when you don't have that back end together.
That's true.
Because it's like almost like you're a fraud. Like, how you trying to help me and you don't have your stuff together, right?
That's true.
So in regards to that, one of the services I do offer is getting you compliant with the IRS, okay? Doing a thorough assessment to make sure that whatever the IRS has on you, we can go ahead and get all of that information. We can get information on how many years you haven't filed. We can get all of that information so we can make sure that if you owe something from the IRS, then we can help you reduce that balance to zero. I've had a client where I reduced their balance all the way to zero. Or we can, if it's you needing to file your taxes, getting you compliant so that you can buy your house, so you can show up as your true authentic self in your business. Okay?
Wow.
And then, like we did talk about this, but if you are a business owner and all your stuff is all over the place, you don't know what came in, what came out, that's something I help with as well. I either show you how to figure this out for yourself, how to do your own bookkeeping in 30 or 90 days.
Okay.
Or I do everything for you. If you like, you know what, Chastity, if it's for you, then I got you.
Understood. Well, see, so there, guys, at this point, there's no excuse. How you gonna make an excuse? Like when she's telling you, like, hey, if you're not compliant, she's going to help you get compliant, right? She's gonna help you get caught up and be where you need to be, right? So there's no excuse. So let's talk about it, because like I said, we 18 days to the Woke Money Conference, guys. And Miss Chastity, she's gonna be there. And you're gonna be doing a workshop.
Yes.
Right. So let's talk about what we know what you do, who you are, but what can we expect to get from you at the Woke Money Conference?
Yes. So anybody who follows me know that I give you all the gems when I go live. And so to see me in person, you're going to get the live gems. We're going to talk about tax strategies for individuals, for business owners. We're going to talk about S Corp. We're going to break it down because it's all in the media. You have questions, I have answers. Okay. So we're going to talk about how we're going to maximize your profits and minimize your liabilities at the Woke Money Conference.
I love it. So she said, maximize your profits and minimize your liabilities. Y'all heard that? So even if you're not an entrepreneur, I'm like, that's be the main thing that people want to know is like, what strategies do I have? How can I reduce this or whatever the case, especially those that don't have kids. That'd be the main ones. Like, okay, what can I do to reduce this liability. So at the end of the day, you want to come to the conference, you want to come see her and get your stuff in order, right?
Yep.
Because we no longer are the days when we're not showing up. I love it. She says, show up as your true, authentic self. And this is holding you back. So let's get you guys compliant. Somebody said, shout out to Dr. Kathy Tatum. She said, you need your paperwork in order if you're trying to get them business loans, things of that, things of that nature. They want to see those financials. So at the end of the day, everybody wants money for their business. But then it's like, oh, can you show us your P&L? Can you show us your last tax statements?
Yeah.
Crickets, so got to get it in order.
Yeah, I want to say this really quick.
Look, she ready.
One thing my husband always tells me, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Love it.
If you stay ready with getting your taxes done and everything, you don't have to worry about getting ready when you need it the most. That
is the truth. So guys, I know that this may not be the most, jumping for joy.
I'm jumping for
look,
joy.
look, this is her thing, not me. Look, Kat is like, look, but at the end of the day, like, everybody's gonna pay taxes. So if you're gonna pay taxes, you might as well get with a professional, so that way you can make sure that you are minimizing that debt as low as you humanly can. Because if you think that TurboTax is, come on, y'all, like, please stop with the TurboTax. Like, we need to go to professionals to ensure that you are getting exactly what you need, right? So outside of that, what keeps you going? Like, because you're doing the tax thing, you say you're serving, right? With your clients. Mm-hmm. You go year round?
Yeah, I'm year round.
She don't even stop. I take a break. Look, after April, find me doing woke money. Okay. Look. So no breaks.
No breaks.
Okay.
I mean, I take a little vacation here and there.
Okay.
Like, we found taxes, we doing all this 365.
Okay. So she said that if it don't matter if it's after the deadline, it don't matter when you need her, she is available. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, cool. So you said that you'll be doing lives. What you be talking about on your lives, girl?
I do a mixture. Sometimes I'm doing motivation, where it's like scripture based and motivating you from that standpoint. And then the other standpoint is, like I said, give you the tips on business, taxes, and managing your finances. Okay, so well-rounded individual. Look, trying to help you get to your best self. Okay, so and then for some of us, it's like having those big tax big tax bills. It's inevitable. If you're making a lot of money, it's inevitable. But at least if you're planning for it, right? If you're preparing, it don't hit so hard, right? And also, like she said, there's many strategies that you can use to combat that. So let me ask you this: if they wanna, because we know we're gonna see you at the conference, right? She's gonna be there, looking cute, right? Doing what she does. She's gonna be there, but somebody might say, "Hey, I need tax stuff today. Like, I can't wait until the conference. I got to get my taxes done today." Do you do individuals, business? Yeah, individuals and business. So everybody can come. I mean, everybody who I accept. Okay. I mean, we have a conversation, see we're a good fit. Okay. Okay. She said, yes, if you're an individual, I help you with your tax issues, and then obviously the business. Okay. So she said the clients that she accepts. I appreciate that, because some of these clients will run you ragged. So she's like, not me. You see, she got a cute smile. She like, you ain't about to stress me out. All right. So if they want to get in touch with you, get their taxes done, how do they connect with you? Yeah, so the best way to get in touch with me is by scheduling an appointment. So my calendar link is calendly.com/Grady Tax Plus. That's the best way to get a hold of me as far as getting on my calendar. Okay. And so if they want to tap into those lives, though, you say you do the lives and you do all of that, how can they get connected with that? Yeah, so if you follow me on my personal Facebook page, Chastity Grady, It's my name on Facebook. And I do stream it on Instagram as well.
Okay.
Chastity Grady.
Okay, awesome. So they can tap in, get those tips, get those motivations, that prayer request. Like, look, shoot. Okay, well, look. So that's Miss Grady. She said, look, come see me, come get compliant, come to the Woke Money Conference. She's going to be doing a workshop, right? Showing you what you need to know about, is your structure correct? Are you doing what you need to do in regards to the tax side? Did I leave anything out? Is there anything else that you want to tell the people?
The strategies, you got to show up at the conference.
Oh, okay. I like that. So if you want to hear these tax strategies, if you want to know, if you're structured correctly, or if you're new and you want to know what those structures are, so you can know, okay, I think that I want to be an LLC, or I think I want to be an S Corp. So you can come to the conference and learn about the different structures. So that way, once you get into business, you can structure yourself properly, right? And then again, she does the bookkeeping. She does all these things that can help you. If you haven't been doing your taxes or haven't been, doing the right thing, it's okay. There's people like her that can help you, get your stuff together. So 18 days, y'all. 18 days until the Woke Money Conference. We want to see you guys there. For those that are going to be in the building, we want to make sure that you text the word woke, WOKE, to 888-111. That gives you a chance to win $1,000 at the conference. So not only are we feeding your mind, you can potentially get your pockets fed as well with this $1,000, but you must be in attendance. All right. So make sure that you guys get your tickets. 18 days away from the Woke Money Conference. Y'all been hearing it. But this is going to be, we're going to wrap it up tonight because Chastity was our only guest tonight. She graced us tonight. But we will be back next Monday, 8:30 on the dot, giving you guys what you need, the information that you need in the Woke Business podcast. So we appreciate you, Grady Tax Plus. Keep up the good work. Keep those people compliant. Look. And we appreciate you for gracing the Woke Business podcast. So we're going to go ahead and tune out for tonight. Thank you, GMT Radio, Flume TV. Shout out to my guy, Ryan. We thank you guys so much for keeping us going every single Monday. And we'll see you guys next week. Y'all be blessed.
Attention.